What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. This is Ride Along with Dan the Fireman. We're going to be going downhill from this mountain. Make sure you watch part 1, part 2 of episode 2 of going up the mountain, because you got to get up before you go down, right? All right, so we got the camera like this, so hopefully it's good view. Hopefully this thing doesn't fall off. All right, so downhill has its own unique hazards, okay? So we got speed is a huge factor in going downhill because it's a lot easier to go fast downhill. Now, when you're going in the mountains or any type of curves, like some massive curves, please, camera, do not fall off. Ah, it's bouncing. It's a lot easier to go too fast going downhill. So that's something that you have to pay attention to, because that could play into other things. You know, going too fast for a curve, going too fast, get a speeding ticket, going too fast, hitting a bump, and now having to negotiate and mess up, or going too fast and having to swerve, but you can't swerve in time because you're going too fast. Applying the brakes, going too fast on these turns, these blind turns, because cars are backed up. All these different things play a huge role just because you decided to go fast. So what I like to do is go nice and easy, nice and slow. The speed limit is 35. I pick the gear for that speed limit. And if for any reason I have to slow down or stop, I just roll off the throttle. I'm exaggerating by keep taking my hand off, but I'm literally just rolling off, and we just dropped 10 miles an hour. When you roll off the throttle and you drop, I'm like talking like there's a camera there. When you roll off the throttle and you drop it, your suspension starts to go down. Okay, when your suspension goes down, it means more weight transfer goes to the front tire. Therefore, it's easier for you to brake if you absolutely have to. It's also easier for you to accelerate if you have to. So right here, it's a blind turn. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Okay, now I can accelerate. Now I can accelerate nice and easy because I have a lot of weight transfer to that front tire by decelerating and engine braking just a little bit. Okay, so now if you want to, though, you can maintain your speed nice and easy. Just go ahead and maintain your speed. There we go. And I am testing out the 360 camera. It's making me nervous a little bit. Thank you, patrons, for making that possible to where I can afford good equipment. We also have to pay attention to these lights. You see how it changes dark shaded, dark shaded. Now, going downhill, it really depends on which side of the hill you're on. So like right now, me turning left around the hill, there's nothing shaded in my section. It's shaded in this section, but now we're turning left, but now there's a hill on the right. So now there's gonna be trees blocking the view, blocking the sun. So I'm gonna roll off the throttle, chevrons, take it nice and easy, looking where I need to go. I'm staying between the two lines just in case that, you know, the shaded and the not shaded areas really mess with my vision. So I'm staying between the lines, looking where I wanna go. It's a blind turn. It's a blind turn. So I'm kind of being cautious. I can see around the turn, perfect. Okay. So like I said, it's easier to go fast going downhill. So I'm barely using any throttle. I'll use throttle going straight like this, and then I'll go ahead and roll out the throttle just a little bit on these turns. And if I feel like I'm going too slow during the turn, I'll increase the throttle pressure just a little bit. Now that it's open, I can accelerate if I want to. Pay attention to the signs. The signs are really important, okay? The signs tell you what's coming up. Now, a lot of people don't like signs. A lot of people are like, man, it's too many distractions. To me, it's a hint. It's not take it for verbatim. It's like, hey, look at this real quick. Okay, cool. Now focus on driving. That's what I use it for. So this is great. It tells me, hey, we got a right turn coming up, and it's pretty sharp. We also got an intersection coming up, Solar's Road. So that tells me two different things that I need to pay attention to. The curve with the speed. Also, there's a blind intersection, so I got to pay attention for any cars wanting to come out. Right there. That is what I use it for. That's it. It's great. It helps me out with my hazard perception. It looks like, it looks like this thing it keeps moving down. I don't know. As long as it doesn't fall off, that's all I care about. These tar snakes, when you're going downhill, it's like I said, it's easier to go fast. But if the tar snake is within your lane and it's going along the lane, try your best to move out of the side of it. I talked about that in episode 1 with train tracks or trolley tracks. Same thing. You're going to have the cracks in these roads kind of guide your tire. If you sit in the tire too long, and there's a tar snake coming up, and I'll talk about that. It'll guide it, and it'll guide you in the wrong spot. So if I put my tires in between this crack right here and I tried to go, it could really throw off my balance and throw off everything that I'm trying to do, which is to find a lane that is best suited for any hazards. So middle is usually the best, because you never know if a car is going to come and cross over, because that's no good. And you also don't want to have debris off to the end. Okay, so usually there's debris towards the mountain and the other side of the mountain. So right here we got another little crack, so I'm going to kind of move over, dodge the other one, dodge this little messed up area, and that's it. So it's really good to have good body positioning, have good control of your bike, and then to do the speed limit. The speed limit, like I said, is not designed to just be something to get tickets and stuff for. That's not what it's for. Okay, it's designed because that is what the road is rated for, just like your tires. They don't put speed ratings on your tires just to be like, well, you shouldn't go this fast. No, they have specific tires for fast, specific tires for this, specific tires for that. So don't go above your speed rating on your tires, don't go above the speed limit here. Now, there's different speed limits for different areas. Some mountains are 60 miles an hour, some mountains are 80 miles an hour, especially if they're on the interstate type of thing, going through the mountains. This one is specifically designed for 35, and it's heavily enforced. So really got to watch out for that. All right, so we got a blind turn. We also got intersections right here. Got to watch out for those. Whee! There we go. Now we also got intersection, we also got a bunch of these things here, but I'm looking at the horizon. I'm glancing down here every once in a while for hazards, but I'm looking at the horizon. That's what you want to do. All right, we got people coming out. Can't judge my speed very well, so I'm going to give a little bit of a presentation. All it does is look like I'm having fun. Trying my best not to hit bumps because that 360 camera is scaring me. It's staying there, it's staying there. Once again, blind turn. So now, just like going up the hill, it can transition from going up to down, up to down. We're going down the hill, we're going down the mountain, but now it's going up and down, up and down. So be aware of that. So you might have to change your throttle pressure to maintain your speed. Okay, so I increased my throttle pressure, my throttle response, which there's tar snake, so that I can go up the hill and maintain a 35. So now I have the opposite issue of speed kind of being the issue, is that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go above what I'm comfortable with because I have a little bit of experience and I can, oh, I'm going too fast, okay, I'll slow down. Now when it comes to going downhill, you don't have that. You're literally like, oh crap, why am I going too fast? I'm barely giving it throttle. It's because you're probably in a higher gear, letting the RPMs to rev up, and you're going above the speed limit. And you're going above what you're capable of. So to get yourself ready for situations like this, I recommend taking flat roads that have curves, and then start adding in roads that have a little bit of curves and a little bit of hills. Adding a mountain where it goes from 8-something thousand feet to like 1,000 feet in a matter of 20 minutes, that can really increase your speed to the point where you're not comfortable. So mile marker 16, I talked about that in episode 2, part 1, I believe, where, you know, knowing where your mile marker is, because if there ever is an accident, you can call 911 and tell them, hey, I just passed mile marker 16 on my way down from Mount Lemmon, and I'm in an accident, I'm on the side of the road, I need help. That way they have an idea of where you're at. Now this is a beautiful view area. This is where it transitions to what we were doing on part 1 and part 2. So this is portion of part 2. Now the views can get distracting, right? It's a beautiful view, right? What about the guy behind me? Well, it's a beautiful view for him too. Imagine him taking a look at it and then running into me because he's accelerating, he's not paying attention. He's actually off the road. I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna stabilize it. He's actually, he had his tires over the line. People are gonna do that. People are gonna do that in front of you, behind you, coming towards you, all these things. So right now, see, I'm in the middle, taking it nice and easy. There's no reason to go inside, you know, outside, inside, do all these knee drag and stuff. There really isn't. Going nice and easy. Nice and easy. Now you can give a little bit of body posture, that way your suspension and everything is upright. That's really important. Right here, I'm gonna take it nice and easy. Now I can see around the turn. How many? Yeah, perfect. We're gonna do a full-on thing. We're gonna do around the turn. We're gonna move around here. Okay, if you're going too fast, counter steer some more. Be more aggressive. Okay, push it. Now the best bet is to slow look, press and roll. Okay, so slow down, look, press and then roll on the throttle. You'll learn that in the advanced class, and actually I think you learned that in the BRC. But you want to do that. So pay attention. Beautiful views. Now I see how there's nobody coming, so I got no traffic in my way, unless it's behind this blind turn. No, it's not. Perfect. So now I can feel a little more comfortable that there's not going to be any road hazards. I can see quite a bit of ways to see if there's anything in the road itself that's going to cause a hazard for me, and I don't see anything. So that's the beauty of having it nice and open, but on a mountain, you're not going to have that all the time. Like right now, it's blind. Okay, now it's open. Parking pull-out, just like I explained in part 1, episode 2, that you can pull out, how to pull out. So if you want to know how to do that, check that video out. Beautiful views, man. I just really would love to just, glance at it and look at it, but I enjoy just relaxing, doing the ride. I don't need to see the views. The peripheral of blue is amazing. All right, so we got some slippery, it says slippery ass road. That means that there's something going on. Hey, you got kitten ears. How you doing? Hey, buddy, how you doing? It's a beautiful road, beautiful day. All right, so I felt a little rumble strips. That's letting me know, hey, slow down, slow down. We're coming up to something. There's rumble strips right there, kind of like on the side of the interstate. So that tells me I need to slow down. We got people ahead. Once again, they're just nice indications. Mile marker 14, Windy Point Vista. Cool. Now, this is a transition from asphalt to concrete. Concrete's a little bit slippery, especially in wet. And this can ice up a lot quicker than asphalt can. So be very careful, especially on these turns, okay? So take it nice and upright, slow it down a little bit. Now you can accelerate when you get out of it. Okay, park and pull out if you want to pull out. Nice and easy, but you see how it's off cambered? So keep an idea of where your side stand is. It's on the left for most bikes. So if it's off cambered to the left and you put your side stand down, the bike's gonna be leaning really far. Imagine trying to get that bike up vertically off the side stand like that, okay? So my best bet with that one is to just deal with it. All right, so we got blind turns, but we're pretty good when it comes to everything off to the right. Okay, we got a massive drop off, so our biggest hazard is falling off the mountain. Well, we got a guardrail, we got training, we got hazard perception, all these different things. So hopefully that's never going to become an issue. And if it ever comes to that, then that's why we have gear. Hopefully it's going to save our life. Hopefully. Right here, my biggest hazards are these turns at speed. Okay, so maintain 35. Okay, I'm getting a good sense of my speed with my own brain. I'm not having to look at the speedometer this whole time. I'm also looking for other hazards, which means cars and bikes and all that stuff. So right here, it's a nice open turn. We got some chevrons. See how the chevrons are turning this way? We got a switchback, so it goes up, over, and then up. It's a left and then a right-handed turn. So right here, we got the left-handed turn portion. I don't know about these cars. Okay, I see a car coming. I got a bicyclist. Hopefully I can get around this bicyclist quick enough, because cars will try to go around him too and possibly go in my lane. We got switchbacks taken nice and easy. Dancing with the bike, staying nice and loose is very important. Okay, this guy's going a little bit fast. These guys are going a little bit fast, it seems like. I'm afraid that they're going to go into my lane, so I'm staying in lane position 2, which is the middle portion of the lane that I have. That way, if they do creep over, they're only taking up my lane position 1, and I have lane position 2, and if I see them creeping over, I can switch on over to lane position 3 if I feel like it. I don't want to stay in lane position 3 the whole time, because there's possibly debris from rain runoff or just people kicking up stuff, and then it's just sitting over there. So I'm going to stay over here. It's nice and easy. We have, see how it's a little bit off camber, it goes this, it does this. So that right there plays into your handling. Now, if it was opposite, you have to be a little extra careful when it comes to your turning. You're going to have to stay a little bit more upright, and it's always good to slow down. High speeds can help you out when you're turning, so can slow speeds. So slow speeds will help you stay more upright. You don't have to lean as far, which means you have more traction for areas that have less traction on the road, okay? So we're keeping it nice and easy, not a big deal. What's the time at? Good. I think we'll have plenty of time for that 360 camera. Hopefully it's looking good. Hopefully it's not too shaky. All right, so we're at 6,000 feet, 12 mile marker. Okay, mile marker 12. Good to know. All right, blind turn. You see how there's some pine cones, some debris. So I'm going to kind of scoot on over, keep an eye out, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit, roll off that throttle. There we go. picnic area coming up. So that means there's possibly pedestrians moving from one side of the road to the other side of the road. There's possibly dogs, traffic going in and out of this intersection. So this, no, I thought that was the intersection. Congested area, 20 miles per hour. Okay. That's recommended. You can obviously go 35 if you want, but 20, there's a reason why it's 20, like I talked about. There's a reason why 35 mile an hour road on the whole mountain, and the recommendation of going 30 on some of these curves. That's what that's rated for. It's saying that you can comfortably make this turn at 30 miles an hour. You can safely make this turn in this road 35 miles an hour. It's saying you can go through this safely at 20 miles an hour because you don't know if anybody's going to be coming out. They want you to go slower just in case you have to apply the brakes. It's not so that they could just tell you what to do. It's a recommendation. Ooh, airbag deployment on that thing. All right, so we got a car behind us. Not a big deal. I'm going the speed limit, but let's say I don't want him to be behind me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the next pull-off point, and I'm going to pull off. So I'm going to show you how to do it safely downhill. Because once again, going downhill, you're going a little. It's easy to go fast, and when it's easy to go fast, it's easy to mess up your braking. Mile marker 11. It's easy to mess up your braking, mess up your turning, mess up everything. So we're going to try to find the pull-out zone as quick as we can, as soon as we can, and then prepare for that pull-out. So that looked like a pull-out, but it's not. To me, it's not safe enough. So I'm not picking the one that is the soonest. I'm picking the one that is the safest for me. And typically, it's going to be the ones that actually have a sign for it. So pull off, pull out, pull over for slow vehicles, all those things. So I'm just kind of waiting for it, okay? Now this one, it's like, oh man, I could totally pull off right here. But you see this thing right here, that sign? That lets you know, hey, you could definitely pull over, but you're gonna hit something. Because that sign right there shows that there is an obstacle. So right there's a big old boulder sticking out. Same thing with right here. Do not pull off right there because you're gonna fall off into that little divot. Those are all indications, all signs that says, hey, this is what this is for. Same thing right here, the 30 mile an hour squiggly road, the little yellow part says don't pull off. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Have fun. So that's a pull off right there. We're gonna wait for our side. I don't wanna go across traffic to do it. All right, I felt like I was going a little too fast. It turned out I was going 40 instead of the 35. See? Showing that there's a mountain. All right, so watch out for the hazard here. That was a tar snake. We got a blind turn hazard here. Okay, we got cars coming. I saw cars coming. So now I'm gonna be kind of cautious about them coming in my lane. It looks like nobody's coming in my lane. Perfect. So 20 mile an hour switchback, turn left, turn right, mile marker 10. See, that was a pull off, but I didn't feel comfortable because I was going a little too fast and I saw it too late. So now that I have these hazards down and I know what's coming up, I know that the next pull off I can do, unless there's a new batch of hazards coming up. So there's no problem. Your focus should be the hazards, not the person behind you. Who cares? All right, so parking pull out. So I'm gonna use my indication and I see it coming up. So I'm gonna slow down. He should be slowing down, not getting close to me. Oh, I don't wanna hit the camera. There we go. So I'm just gonna kind of slow down. I don't see anybody. Oh, I don't wanna hit the camera. Don't see anybody, perfect. Accelerate back to speed. Now I'm gonna let him do his thing, okay? If this isn't the opportunity to be like, oh, he's gonna go fast, I'm gonna follow behind him and go fast too. Yeah. No, it's you still do your own thing, let him go, maybe get pulled over, take up all the cops' time. All those things. So here's another parking pullout. That's actually a good one. So what I did on the parking pullout, so the next one I'll go ahead and actually do is, and I'll explain it a little bit better. I just did a demonstration, I didn't do an explanation. So the next parking pullout will be probably up there. So that's probably the safest one. There's parking spaces, but you also have to watch out for people pulling out to get back on the road. And while I do that, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna double check my camera to make sure everything's good. And that's what you can do. You can stop. You're like, man, there's something going on with my equipment on my bike. I don't know. It feels a little janky. I'm gonna pull off. So we're gonna slow down, use my indication so people know behind me to slow down. And I'm gonna move off to the front. Okay, now there's parking spaces. You can move into a parking space, that's perfectly fine, but I'm gonna pull off over here so I can get pointed out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, side stand down, make sure it locks in pretty much, turn the handlebars, and then get my foot off. Okay, So I'm gonna double check this thing. Looks good. Looks good. I don't think it's moved at all. Perfect. All right, so we just came down from there. Go. And we're gonna go ahead and do that. That camera is gonna die in about 8 minutes or something. All right, so we got traffic coming. So right now, since we're not crossing the road to the other lane to go that way, all we have to do is watch out for traffic coming. So I don't know if there's anybody coming right now around this blind turn, but what I'm doing is I'm looking way over there. I don't see any cars. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds. I don't see any cars coming, so that means that nobody has come around this turn. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna keep an eye out. Very good. There we go. Nice and easy, smooth movements. Another thing that you want to do is swallow. When you go from elevation, decrease, increase, you're gonna have like this head pressure. So swallow so that you can get rid of some of that head pressure, because that can kind of affect how you do things. It can mess up your hearing and everything. All right, so the blind turn, any hazard, road, nope. Okay, so now we got this really big U-turn thing. This is gonna be a lot of fun if I didn't have the camera there. But for the most part, slow down, slow look, press. So press on the counter steer and then roll on the throttle. So now that we're facing up, I'm gonna go ahead and accelerate to get to speed. So it's recommending 30 miles per hour for the little squigglies. All right, but I'm gonna just do 35. I feel comfortable at 35. I don't feel comfortable around these people. So remember, the squigglies, the recommendation signs is for us to remember that that's there, but then also think about the other car drivers. Are they adhering to the recommendation? Are they? Do you know for a fact every single car coming up this way is adhering to that recommendation? You don't know. So once again, middle is probably your best bet around these turns, because remember, point A to point B, that's all we're doing. We're not racing. Now, if we're racing and we're trying to shave off seconds on our best time, our best lap on Mount Lemmon for our own personal records, well, then you're also taking risks when it comes to getting a ticket. You're also taking risks when it comes to crashing, all these different things. But if you want to do that, then, you know, outside, inside, outside with your knee down, all that stuff, yeah, you could totally do that. It's perfectly fine. I don't recommend it. Mile marker 8, very good. How you doing? That guy went off the road just a little bit. So he's the type of person that would probably go off the road going this way. He went off the road that way. He went over the white line on his side. So him going down, because, you know, the outside forces are pushing him out. So him going down will probably, he'll go over the yellow line. So he's the type of driver I got to watch out for, and there's a lot of those types of drivers. So I assume every driver's that way. So they're going straight, it's not a big deal, but a lot of people get nervous going on these little turns. So we got horsies, we got the horsies, possible crossing for them. Keep an eye out for them. Alright, so I felt like I was going a little too fast. I'm going to roll off the throttle. It's very easy to go fast on these roads. And I do not recommend cruise control. So I got cruise control on. I do not recommend cruise control on these roads. Especially on the not interstate, especially in town. That's what I meant. Because you're having to constantly vary your speed. You're having to constantly vary your turning and all that stuff. And cruise control, I got a booger, sorry. Cruise control can definitely play a big problem, because you're having to do an extra step to take it off and then adjust your speed and all that stuff. So I don't recommend that. So let's recap real quick. Main things about going down a mountain that you have to watch out for. Once again, you still have to watch out for roadway users like this car. You also have to watch out for the road debris and all that stuff. So that's typical when it comes to any type of thing. But the typical hazard that pops up when going downhill is going too fast into a turn. Feeling like you're going too fast. So here's a turn right here. I feel like I'm going to go too fast. I'm going to go 45. What you can do is roll off the throttle. So you could just roll off, and you see how you start slowing down. You slow down quite a bit to the point where, like, man, I'm going too slow. I got to roll back on that throttle. That is what you can do, okay? Stick to the speed limit. and you can always adjust it from there. Okay, speed limit is a great indication of what this road is rated for. Okay, it's a recommendation when it comes to the yellow signs. So when it comes to these yellow signs for saying, hey, this turn is 30 miles an hour, that's a recommendation of, hey, that's below the speed limit that's on this road. Therefore, this is a harder turn. Therefore, you need to go slower. Okay, so that is huge when it comes to that kind of stuff. So you need to pay attention to that. So take those turns a little slower. It's always easier to add speed than it is to decrease the speed. So right here we have a right-handed turn at 30 miles an hour. I'm going 40. What I can do is I can start rolling off the throttle. I'm gonna look through the turn, slow, look, press, and I'm gonna roll on the throttle to maintain my pressure or maintain my speed because I started to slow down a little too much. Once again, we got a 30 mile an hour U-turn basically, so I'm gonna slow before the turn. I'm gonna look, I'm gonna press, and I'm gonna start rolling on the throttle when I feel like I'm going a little too slow for my pressing, or I can adjust my pressure on the pressing. I'm gonna sit up. Speed limit is 35 again. Slow, look, press, and roll. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you wanna see how I got up the mountain, it's a two-parter. It's episode 2, part 1, part 2. Episode 1 talks about riding in town, and I give you a little bit of interstate tips. But if you'd like to see me do other things, if you'd like to see me ride in the rain, ride in the dark, just do a full-on short episode of riding on gravel, short episode riding on the interstate, specific hazards for that, let me know. Write in the comments if you like these types of videos. It tells me that, hey, I need to make more. And if you say you don't like them, it tells me, hey, stick with what I know. Just kidding. I know this stuff. I love this stuff. This is very exhilarating. I'm able to go out and do some fun things that I could just talk. I could just let my brain vomit all over you. But with that said, hope you ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you around, boys, guys, girls, all those things. Bye. So I'm gonna pull off here. It was a nice straightaway, so I feel comfortable doing that, but I'm actually gonna get off the road because I don't know if anybody's gonna be coming up and wanting to come this way. But I need to turn off all my equipment. All right, making sure it locks. It's good. It's good. Perfect. Now I can shut everything off.